All right. So recently I came across another post from a fellow builder and store comparing these two products. Brother, I know that you know that, well, we know, right, that I'm pulling you into this, but I'm not going to say anything because everyone does this, right? Not everyone has the tools, not everyone has the understanding and the means to go about actually comparing speakers properly. But typically speaking, we'll take this speaker, put it into this box, and this speaker and put it into this box, and compare the two, which is so wrong, right? Sometimes we'll connect this speaker like this and connect this speaker like this, and we'll compare them, which again is so wrong. That's why we eat water and drink food. Doesn't work that way. You can feel how frustrating that is. Like it irritates me saying it. I'm sure it irritates you hearing it. Like, go eat your water and drink your food. But it doesn't work that way, guys. Speakers are really technical things, right? So let's bypass that and let's talk about these speakers, right? Myth and our Red Cat product. Let's take a look at these frames because, this is how we go about things. You walk into a store, there's a whole bunch of speakers stacked out, and this looks really good. Myth looks really nice. I love the way that Myth has gone about bringing in cast frames for the cheaper speakers, right? This is one of Myth's entry-level products, guys. I can't knock this. At least from an appearance perspective, this is a beautiful looking speaker. But if we have a closer look here, right, what's wrong with this? That is exceeding our mounting frame. Okay, this is tight, guys. This I've just taken out of the box. There we go. Just come out the box. Hence why it's so clean in my garage, right? But this is not good. This is the second speaker. Okay. Why the second one? Well, let me explain. Everything that we've tested, I test to its full capabilities. The 18M1200, in fact, superseded its power handling test. So don't think I'm hating on Myth being a terrible product, because they're not all bad. But that superseded 1200 watts. And this failed my testing. So this is driver number 2, which I pay for. On the other hand, this is the first Red Cat that was given to me by Red Cat to test, right? And it's survived all of its testing. Now, while it is rated at 400 watts, it is, of course, 400 watts program, but it is 200 watts continuous. This failed at 200 watts continuous under 2 hours pink noise, so it failed. Here's the second one, but I do have parameters for this. Okay, so on look, this guy looks absolutely fantastic. Well done to Myth. They've really made a good effort on all of their products looking professional. So if I walked into a store and I saw these two side by side, I would most likely buy this, right? Hands down, I'd possibly buy this. It is also cheaper than the Red Cat speaker, the Red Cat press frame, right? But I want to jump onto something quickly, and so this guy over here is a mid-range, this guy over here is a mid-range. They are in fact both very similar in products, but let's talk about loudness. This guy is as loud as 2 of these guys. That's the reality of things. So for $200 or $300 more, I'm getting a speaker which is twice as loud as this guy over here. Secondly, they're both supposed to be mid-range speakers. Well, mids, generally speaking, right, they are not very high powered, which is quite common. They don't really need to be. They've got good sensitivity. So the loudness per watt, this is 6 dBs louder than that. So you need 2 of these to be as loud as one of those. That's the way it is. Now let's talk about box size, right? So if you guys have been following the build for this Red Cat, this is what I would consider a perfectly tuned cabinet for that particular driver. And I was hoping that this was going to drop in here, but unfortunately it doesn't. The frame is too big. So I'm going to have to build a cabinet for this, which I will do because I want to be fair, right? Guys, understand, I will still recommend the speaker to guys who want to buy at this price point. It's not a bad speaker. But in terms of its parameters, this driver needs to be in a box which is substantially bigger than this. And the whole point about buying an 8-inch speaker is to make small, compact satellite speakers. Can't do that with this, especially if I want to use it to its full potential. It is what it is. So outside of loudness and this requiring 2 speakers to be equal to that, it also needs a substantially bigger box to get any usable low frequencies out of it. And when I say usable low frequencies, I'm talking 100 Hertz. It's got a double in size practically. But it doesn't have the cone displacement to match it. So it means it's going to have to be a hard filter, which again means you need to know and understand a little bit more about what you're doing when you're comparing the 2 speakers. So putting this in a box and putting this in a box and asking which one's better, I mean, firstly, it doesn't work that way. And guys, like, yeah. Okay, so the gripe that I have with this myth is, you know, every time I test a myth product, guys, I'm paying for it to bring you guys content. So, you know, when you support us from the store, it helps me buy more products, and the more product I can buy, the more product I can test, and I can give you some real world advice. But these terminals, right, so not only am I going to need to now loosen this and turn this around, but I'm most likely going to need to cut these little lead wires because they are going to touch. And in fact, it actually does basically touch this over here. You can hear there. That's not good, right? So myth, you guys need to fix this because it really is not a bad speaker at its price point, but it's the little details that go into play. We need a 16 ohm driver. I'll say it openly and honestly, you guys are in love with line array speakers for whatever reason. I have no idea. But gents, let's be honest, sound is very complicated. Line arrays are even more complicated. There's a very specific batch of details that we look at when we actually design line array cabinets, which complicates things. I, in fact, am going to be releasing our very first series of the Sound Guy products with Redcat, because that is the best speaker at its price point on the market. Even though that this is more expensive, this I would consider, even though that this is literally their entry-level product, it is substantially better than any other driver that's on the market at this very instance. So I hope you guys are going to look forward to that, because it's about time that I give you a proper speaker that is built and finished to the best of our ability with custom crossovers, not default off-the-shelf stuff. It doesn't work. Guys, you know, your wife will tell you, your girlfriend will tell you, it doesn't go in the back door. There's a hole specifically for that. Don't use off-the-shelf crossovers. And if you can't make crossovers, then don't make line arrays. Don't make speakers. Rather come to us, ask us for the help. We actually charge a small fee, but we will design your cabinets to match that. We will design the crossovers to match this and whatever other compression driver you want to use. So which is better? Redcat, by far. If this came in a 16 ohm, it would be possibly the best go-to little 8-inch speaker on the market. Going up in price, guys, there's a whole bunch of solutions. It's a very tight call between this and the Salto, which again is a little bit more expensive than this. It is a slightly nicer product, but this is an entry-level product which you guys reach out for. So in this particular instance, this is a no-go. But you know what? I'm still going to release some information on this and give you guys a free design, because there are going to be people who are Myth supporters. And again, I'm not knocking Myth. but they do have better products. And again, well done to Red Cat, and thank you very much for sponsoring us drivers to test once again. But there it is. So guys, I will be doing a full review on the little 8M200, and we will be designing a cabinet for them, and I'll be showing you the real difference between these speakers. I've already told you that one is louder, but I'll want to show you the proper way on how to compare speakers. So stay tuned.